The morning in Lanford had a way of arriving quietly, as though it were politely asking permission to begin. The streets stretched lazily beneath a pale sky, and the Connor household, like many others, carried the soft hum of unfinished conversations and stubborn routines. "Hello, everybody," Jackie called out as she stepped into the kitchen, her voice carrying a brightness that felt only slightly forced. She paused, squinting toward the doorway. Hang on. Jack, haven't seen you in a while." There was laughter, scattered and imperfect, the kind that lived comfortably in a house where nothing was ever entirely put together, but everything somehow worked anyway. Jack shrugged, leaning casually against the counter. "You and Peter must be really hitting it off." Jackie waved a hand dismissively. "Actually, my days are free. You know Peter. He has classes in early European culture. And apparently, he is a falconer in training at the Renaissance Fair." Dan raised an eyebrow. "He wears tights." "At first it put me off," Jackie admitted, then smiled. "Now I kind of admire the commitment." Dan grunted. "I do not get it. A bunch of people running around pretending it is centuries ago, eating oversized turkey legs and calling it culture." Jackie laughed softly. "Well, maybe people just want a place where things feel simpler." "Nothing simple about tights," Dan muttered. The moment shifted as the mail landed heavily on the table. Dan picked up an envelope, squinting at it like it might bite him. Well, he said slowly. "Looky here. Letter from the city." Jackie groaned. "That means one thing. Clean up your yard, or they will do it for you." Dan opened it, then paused. His expression changed, confusion giving way to something almost boyish. "Nope," he said. "It is a permit." "For what?" Darlene asked, not looking up from her coffee. Dan looked up, a grin spreading despite himself. "To build a backyard chicken coop." The room went quiet for a moment before erupting into overlapping reactions. "You waited 2 weeks for that?" Darlene asked. Dan nodded proudly. "And it finally came today." Jackie clapped her hands together. "This is going to be great. Fresh eggs. Organic. Healthy. Think about the money we are going to save." Darlene leaned back, unimpressed. "How big do you think our egg budget is?" Jackie ignored her. "You will not even notice it is there. I will handle everything." Dan crossed his arms. "Except building it." Jackie smiled sweetly. "That part is yours." Later that afternoon, the children burst through the front door with the wild energy only school could produce. "Hi, kids," Jackie said brightly. "How was school?" "Fine," Mark answered, already distracted. Jackie crouched down slightly, lowering her voice as if revealing a secret. "Wouldn't it be even better to come home to your very own chicken coop?" Mary's eyes widened. "We are getting a chicken coop?" Jackie nodded. "What would you name your chicken?" Mary did not hesitate. "Cornflakes." "I love her already." Dan sighed heavily. "We do not even have the chicken yet." Mary clasped her hands together. "Please, Grandpa, we do not have any pets." Dan looked at her, then at Jackie, then back again. The resistance melted slowly, like ice under sunlight. "Fine," he said. "I will build it." The cheer that followed was loud enough to shake the dust loose from the corners of the house. Meanwhile, across town, Becky sat at a small table in the diner, staring at a magazine quiz she had already taken twice. "Are you financially ready to start a family?" she read aloud, her voice flat with disbelief. She looked up at Darlene, who had stopped by before work. "I love these quizzes," Becky said weakly. "They always tell me something I already know, but in a way that feels official." Darlene took a sip of coffee. "So what did it say?" Becky exhaled. "That I am completely unprepared to have a baby." Darlene shrugged. "That seems harsh." Becky tapped the page. 6 months of emergency savings. "Who has that?" "I am a single working mom. I need daycare, insurance, furniture. And that does not even count unexpected things." Like what? Darlene asked. I do not know, Becky admitted. They are unexpected. There was a pause. Then Becky added quietly. I am scared. Darlene softened. Just slightly. You are also doing something right. Like what? You stopped drinking. Becky gave a small, humorless laugh. 21 days. It feels like 21 years. Working at a bar probably does not help, Darlene said. Becky shook her head. It keeps my mind busy. That is the only thing saving me. The bell above the diner door chimed, and a familiar face stepped inside. Andrea, Becky said. Surprised. Andrea smiled, though there was something fragile beneath it. Hey, I saw your post about the drink of the month. Candy cane margarita. Becky blinked. It is just a regular margarita with crushed mint candy. Andrea sat down. I did not come for the drink. Becky studied her. Then why are you here? Andrea hesitated, then said quietly, I needed to talk to someone who would not judge me. Becky tilted her head. I might still judge you, just not out loud. Andrea managed a small smile. Fair enough. She looked down at her hands. I thought having a baby would make everything feel complete. And? Becky asked. I cannot find that feeling anymore, Andrea admitted. I am struggling. Becky glanced at the baby carrier beside her. He looks pretty peaceful. That is because he is asleep, Andrea said. Babies are relentless. They need you all the time. Becky shifted uncomfortably. You have help, she said. Nannies. Services. Andrea nodded. And it is still hard. There was a long silence. Finally, Becky whispered, I am pregnant. Andrea looked up, her expression softening instantly. You are going to love being a mom. But Becky was not so sure. That night, the house was quiet except for the soft creak of footsteps in the hallway. Darlene opened the door, squinting at the figure standing there. Becky, do you know what time it is? Late, Becky said. I needed to talk. Darlene sighed, stepping aside. This better be good. Becky took a deep breath. I agreed to let someone else adopt my baby. That woke Darlene up completely. You did what? They said we could all raise the baby together, Becky explained quickly. They would adopt. But I would still be around. And you said yes? I am scared, Becky admitted. What if I am not good enough? Darlene crossed her arms. You came here because you already know the answer. Becky's voice cracked. I do not want to mess this up. You will not, Darlene said firmly. What if I start drinking again? Then we deal with it, Darlene replied. What if I cannot stop? Then I step in, Darlene said. And so will everyone else. Becky looked at her, tears forming. You really believe that? Darlene nodded. You are not doing this alone. The silence that followed was different now. Lighter. Steadier. Becky wiped her eyes. I'm going to tell them I changed my mind. Darlene smirked. Good. Because